Hey, so I was going to do this little video to show you around how to operate the motorhome. So I'll start in the cab, diesel engine. Remember, when you turn it on, wait for the glow plug light to go out before starting the engine. Rear view camera, for some reason it doesn't work when the headlights are on. Otherwise it's good, it turns itself on when it's in reverse. The passenger electric window sometimes does not work. The little piece in the middle there pops out, so it helps to give it a little bit of a push. Yeah, so it needs to be pushed in there for the window to actually work. The dashboard up the top, you've got the first two of the lights, main lights. Then we've got the bilge pump, which isn't actually connected to anything. The refrigerator, which turns on the 12 volt for the fridge. Use that when you're driving. The fan in the bathroom, and the stereo. For the stereo, we've got two plugs. One goes back to the TV, and the other one goes to the Bluetooth adapter that I've added. So just at the back of the truck, the battery in the back, there is a set of keys attached to one of the cables at the back because I've locked myself out so many times, and the gas bottles next to it. Yeah, just make sure it's turned off while you're driving. The gas bottles tend to only use it for the cooking and the shower, so it tends to last probably a month or two per bottle. That's all. Okay, and then the main bed. Keep an eye on moisture in winter. I've added this layer which gives a bit of airflow underneath the mattress, and I've also put some holes through the wood to try and give it a bit more airflow as well. The ladder can be taken down or just kept up. With the ladder taken away, this whole piece can actually lift up, so you can get to and from the cabin a little bit easier. Right, we've got the solar controller up there, the solar panel on the roof. Comes down to the solar controller, and then from there the cables run along the top, down the corner piece here, through under the seat, through under the piece in the bottom of the shower, under the fridge, to the battery in the back. Okay, so there's only three things that are attached to the battery. That's the solar panel, so the solar controller, the 500 watt inverter, and the engine when the ignition is turned on. So all the lights and electronics come off the solar controller load. So that means if the battery gets too low, it'll switch off all the loads. The lights will go out just to protect the battery. So except for the inverter, which should shut off if the power goes too low. Yep, so that should be good. Right, so the TV, it does have an aerial on the roof, but it's an analog aerial, and I don't know what it can pick up anymore. But the TV has a DVD slot on the side. That's working, and that's all I really used it for. The controller box up here. So the first one is the water heater. So you switch it on, the light comes on, meaning it's igniting the heater. Eventually that will turn off, meaning it's heating. Often the first time you turn it on, the light will, it's ignited now, but often there's something like the first time you use it, there's like an air bubble or something, or some reason it loses its flame, and so that the light will come back on. There it comes back on. So when that happens, you switch it off for a few seconds, switch it back on, and it'll ignite it again. And then the second time, it's normally keeps the flame going. It takes about 10-15 minutes to heat the water, and then I normally just switch it off, and that gives you enough hot water for a shower or two. The next one down is the pump for the water. Pressurizes the water pipes and gives you the water pressure. The one below it gives you the power to the USB sockets up the top, and also the TV can also plug into that as well. And the one on the left is the diesel heater. Yeah, so I put this one here because the diesel heater is lit up like a Christmas tree at night. So the controller for the diesel heater I've put beside the passenger seat. I thought I'd put it there so you could operate it from the passenger seat when you're driving. Yep, just push the button on. Well, you're probably better to look at the manual, but yeah, just push the button on the right once to turn it on. It takes a couple of minutes to start the fans, to ignite the fuel, and to actually start heating up. It does seem to draw quite a lot of current when it's firing up. If there's an error code 1, it means there wasn't enough power in the battery to ignite it. What you can do is probably start the engine, because the engine is actually charges the battery as well. Have the engine running for the first few minutes until it ignites and starts heating. The heaters also comes with a remote, which I keep up beside the bed. So in the morning, just click it once to turn it on, and normally keeping it running for like 5 minutes is normally enough to heat the van. I have wondered if the power should be connected directly to the battery as well, since it draws so much current. I'm not sure. So at the moment it's coming off the solar controller load as well. Right, so under the seat here is where the massive wires is. I've tried to tidy it up as best I can. Under there is a relay which joins the engine to the house battery while the engine's running. Otherwise, we've got the cables going to the battery, and the cable coming from the solar controller load comes to here, and from there it's got a few fuses which go off to the water heater, the diesel heater, the water pump, and some older cables which go to the front control panel for the lights and stereo, etc. The bathroom and shower. So to operate the toilet, so we've got on the left, you rotate it to open the bottom of the toilet. On the right here is the toilet paper underneath there, and to flush you have to wriggle it a little bit, but you can push the button down to flush and then close the hatch. And that's the toilet. The tank, I normally, the cassette, I can normally go like nearly a week just myself. I only really just pee in it. Right, and the shower, so the tap. So if you have the this piece here in the up position, you can just use the tap as normal. With it down, you have to push it to use it. So you use that as a shower, like so. Normally having that switch up, so just use it like a normal tap. In the shower, yeah, just curtains all the way around, so all the way around, close across the door. So normally you can just get changed in there, put your clothes on top of the toilet there, close the curtain, and then have your shower. And the fan up top, which you started from the driver's seat. Okay. In the kitchen, we got the burners. Yeah, push to get the gas, and push the ignition switch there. Again, sometimes these go out the first time that you use it, so just repeat it. I don't know if the ignition is working on the left one, so you might need to just use a lighter. Right, the fridge. So it's a three-way fridge, which means it uses, it's quiet, but it can use 240 volts, 12 volts, or gas. It is not as efficient on 12 volts because it has to heat an element. So you typically would use 240 volts if you're at home, use 12 volts if you're driving, so turning it on and off from the driver's seat, and then when you get to the campsite you put it on gas. The alternative is to get a one of those 12 volt fridges, which is a lot more efficient on 12 volts, but yeah, on this one will suck the battery dry quite quick if you leave it on 12 volts. The button on the left turns on some fans at the back of the truck, just to make it a bit more efficient. To ignite it, you hold in the button, hold in both these buttons, it will click, and eventually the dial on the right will move into the green. And so that's operating. To turn it off, just turn the left switch back to off, and the gas, it should go back to the left there. Okay, so underneath here we've got all the things you need. So there's the water pump here. Behind it is the hot water heater. Got a little dehumidifier, which is useful if the truck's going to be sitting for a long time. Got a 12 volt battery charger. I'm not sure on its condition. I'm not sure if it actually works or not. But yeah, give it a go. I have the cables for plugging in the 240 volts at a campsite. And I also have one for plugging it into a household, normal household plug. It's got a junction box as well, so it's safe. Under there we've got a couple of seats. On the passenger side, we've got the diesel heater, and on the back there's the pump and the fuel filter. Right, and the bits and pieces which you access from the hatch on the passenger side of the truck. So we've got the hose for the fresh water. We've got the blocks to put under the wheels to lift the truck up. This one's the grey water pipe to empty the grey water tank. We've got the hook for taking out the awning. Cheers, and there is the jack in there as well. Right, and this is the diagram I've done of the wiring. Yes, I've tried to do it where similar to where the areas are. Yeah, so solar panel, the controller up near the roof. And we've got the wires running along the ceiling to the cab at the front, where the switch is, going to the stereo, the fan, the lights, and the fridge relay. Yeah, so the bit coming down in the corner, down under the seat, where we've got the relay which comes from the engine, and then we've got some wires which go back up to the controller, where there's some more fuses, where those switches are for the water pump, hot water, USB, and the heater. And then we've got the wires running under the bathroom to the fridge, where there's the relay which is controlled from the front, to the battery, and the 500 watt inverter coming off that. Okay, so any other things, so the window has some locks on it which you can take off to actually open the windows, and the front doors being a little tricky to shut. I found the easiest way is to hold the end of the handle, make sure you're not actually moving the handle, but and just slam it, and then lock at the bottom there. Yeah, I think that's about all. So I hope you enjoy the motorhome as much as I have. It's been a good little home for me. Bye.